Most bankers aren't ready to help you until after their third cup of coffee. But with Central National Bank's after-hours service, you don't have to wait for the bank lobby to open to get help. You can contact us from 6 to 8:30 in the morning or from 5 to 10 in the evening, and we'll connect you to a real, live, local person who can answer questions and fix problems 7 days a week. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Member FDIC.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Through the night, deep in the heart of Texas, the trailer park is nice and dark. Deep in the heart of Texas, that drinks his brew and he spits his chew. Deep in the heart of Texas, the TV blares but no one cares. Deep in the heart of Texas, here we go.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Bois. King of the Hill podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Rusty.
Rusty, we're in a different setting. We're in the high-class video lounge here at Rogue Media.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Moving on up.
Well, I would say that, but we're only in here because somebody's painting in the other room. So we're at Season 4, Episode 16, moving on up.
Yeah, this one has a few stars in it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we get Andy Dick.
Is he the roommate?
Griffin.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
Vicki Lewis as Kate.
Okay.
Which I guess is one of the roommates.
Yeah, it's one of the roommates.
And then Maura Tierney as Tanya.
Okay. Yeah,
So.
one of the roommates only talks one time. And then the other two say a few things. But all right, so let's get to it. We start this in the alley, and the guys, this is before the credits or anything, the guys are sitting there, they're drinking their beers, and they're watching Pops mow the yard, like on his riding lawnmower.
I don't want to interrupt you.
No,
I
please.
forgot something about those three.
Go for it.
So those three people I just named, Andy Dick, Vicki Lewis, Maura Tierney, were all co-stars on News Radio.
Oh, yeah.
With Stephen Root.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
So that's where they all tie into the King of the Hill
News Radio.
world.
Great show.
Yeah.
Great show. God rest Phil Hartman. So they're watching Pops, and we got introduced to Pops a long time ago.
Jim Cummings.
Yeah, he's riding the lawnmower around, and Hank says, "Boy, look at Pops go! 80 years old, and he still has the reaction time to miss the sprinkler heads." And Bill says Tony Curtis is 80. You know Tony Curtis?
Mm-mm.
Tony Curtis would be the guy from Odd Couple, the one that was all stuck up. Really? Okay. And then Pops kind of goes, and then I believe he has a heart attack and just slumps over right there on the mower. But the mower is still going around.
Yeah,
That's the issue. And Hank's like, look at him now. He's just showboating. Come on, Pops. Let me see those hands at 10 and 2. And, I mean, he's just unconscious on this thing, and the thing's just spinning around and around.
Hank's tripping.
Bill says, Pops, Mr. Papacito? I'm not sure where he gets Mr. Papacito
I don't know
from.
where he gets that from either.
But
That's
Pops comes on by, and he crashes into the fence, and then one of the little tires rolls towards the guys. And Boomhauer's like, "Oh man, don't hey man," and that's it. So Pops has died on his lawnmower, and we get the opening credits.
Yeah.
We've got no bell, no yell, but
no bell, no yell.
No. We're getting close though. We're getting close to a bell and a yell.
We're getting there. We'll get one eventually.
That's right. So we got our regular opening credits, and now all four of the guys are in the alley, and they're watching a realtor pound in a for rent sign in front of Pop's house.
Okay.
So we know Pops is
Pop's
dead.
out of there.
Pops
No
is gone.
Pops.
Yeah. Hank says, I'll tell you, it's sad, but at least he went doing what he loves. Bill says, well, we should be so lucky. You know how I want to go? Right here in the alley with you guys. Yeah, it'll probably be my heart the way things are going. Oh, we should rent that house ourselves and turn it into a clubhouse. Who thinks that they want to rent a house in their neighborhood and turn it into a clubhouse?
Yeah, I don't know. That's something that like 15-year-olds or younger think about.
These guys are like Peter Pan.
45-year-old men. Yeah. Well, aren't we all?
Well,
that's
true.
I mean,
guess so.
how many things do you still engage in now as an adult that you either did engage in as a child or couldn't engage in as a child because of some parental restriction?
That's true. I tell my wife all the time that if we want to get food from two different places tonight, we're adults. We can.
We can.
You know, that's
or
the
like
difference.
if I want to play Sega Dreamcast, I couldn't do it as a kid because as a kid you get one game system every like quarter.
Oh, sure.
Or every
If that,
like 4
yeah.
years.
Mhm.
But every like 4 years or so you get a new game system. If that. So like getting to play all these old game systems or watching these movies I couldn't watch. Or
Do you play Seaman?
Seaman.
You know the Dreamcast game about the fish with a human head?
I have never heard.
You should let me introduce you to Seaman after this.
The
game.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the game.
Yeah.
I wanna make that clear, the game.
After
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
we might talk about that on the Friday show.
That's right. Friday show's Seaman only. So he says we should get the house and turn it into a clubhouse. Dale says, I am currently an official supporter of the clubhouse idea. I mean, he's just boom. He's ready to go.
Oh, of course he is.
He wants his clubhouse.
He has a clubhouse in his own house.
He goes, I also reserve the right to be called Dash. Bill says, well, I'll be Spike. I don't know why they want these goofy names just to be in their clubhouse. Hank says, a clubhouse? I don't know. Isn't that something you do when you're in your 30s? In your 30s?
Nah, man.
No, man. Come on, Hank. You know, we got to get a little DVD player, man. Jessica Rabbit, man. Freeze frame all. You talk about fridge full of beer, too, man. You know? And so.
Freeze framing Jessica Rabbit. All right. Well, we know what Boomhauer does in his spare time.
Hank just kind of chuckles. He goes, well, Boomhauer, I tell you, you ought to be in sales. All right, I'm in. Like, mumbling about Jessica Rabbit and a DVD player. That's what did it for him.
That's what did it. He didn't even know what he said, but it just sounded too good to be true.
Dale says, welcome to the clubhouse, Hank. What do you want to be called? Bill says, how about Rudy? Hank says, how about Hank? Dale says, Hank, it is Rudy. All right, so now we're at the Hill House. It's nighttime. And poor Luanne is coming home from work. I'm assuming she works at Sugarfoot's, the way that she's dressed, right? She's got well, either that or the steak place.
Panhandler Steakhouse.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah,
what it is.
okay. She's still in her...
Which is the same restaurant that features the 72-ounce Lone Star Sirloin Steak Challenge, which was featured in Season 3, Episode 2, and they call it Bobby Love, and Season 2, Episode 9, The Company Man, which is the one where that guy from New York comes down and Hank tries to woo him.
Atherton is with him. Atherton's the one wooing him. And so she comes in, she's in her uniform still with her little white cowboy hat, and she's coming in through the sliding glass doors in the kitchen, and Bobby's sitting there waiting for her. You are so late. You know I like my bath at 9:30 with my onion loaf.
With my onion loaf, yeah.
So
that's an odd way to take a bath.
She says, I'm sorry.
Do they soak the onion loaf?
I don't know, man. It's gross.
Is it like sopping bread? Like they dip it in the bath water?
I think in that analogy, Bobby is the sopping bread.
Which is
the gross part.
There was these female streamers that were selling their bath water.
Yeah, I don't want any part of that. Thank you very much. No, I'm good. Yeah, if you're drinking somebody's bath water, I'm telling you, please,
I don't know if they're drinking it.
Help.
I think they're sniffing it like smelling salts.
Yeah, please go get help either way.
They're trying to get a whiff of the stank.
So she says, I'm sorry, the cash register didn't balance. It took Gary 20 minutes to confess. That's a rough place to work.
That is a rough place.
And then she sets these bags down that she's carrying, and she pulls something out, and I'm assuming it's the onion loaf for Bobby, but it's in the shape of a swan, which... You know, you see those
How
when
the hell do you get bread in the
Well, that's
shape
what
of
I'm
a
saying.
swan?
You know, you put them in the aluminum foil, like a lot of Chinese restaurants and stuff. To go, it'll be in this foil, and they tie it up like it looks like a swan.
Yeah,
or
I
whatever.
know what you're talking about.
But this is actual food in the shape of a swan.
Would you shape the bread before you put it in?
Well, I don't think this is bread. I think this is more like the onion loaf at like the steakhouses. Like what's the Australian one?
Yeah, but that's still
no
bread.
rules, just right. No, it's onion that's deep fried.
Oh, you're
talking
talking about
a blooming onion.
A blooming onion.
Yeah, I think that's what he's talking about.
I thought they were talking about bread. I thought
it'd be a lot easier to shape bread than it would an onion. But either way, Bobby takes it with the ketchup.
Yeah, that's what it is. Onion
which
loaf
is gross.
Is bread.
And he just walks right away because he's ready to go take his bath and eat his onion loaf. And Luanne says, "Do you mind if I take a quick shower first? I smell like waitressing." And here's what I don't. Oh, I guess because they're having to share the tub. That's why she's saying that. He goes, "I'm sorry, my bath is already drawn." And then he grabs the dish soap.
Onion loaf is literally just a loaf.
It's onion.
Fried onion.
Yeah,
that sounds. Hey.
It sounds pretty good. Yeah.
Hey.
I always.
Who wants to donate an onion loaf?
Yeah, send us an onion loaf, please, in the mail. That would be the best.
Well, speaking of that, I don't want to go on a tangent, but I was scrolling through DoorDash. You talking about ordering food?
Yeah.
I was scrolling through DoorDash last night, and they've added in some places that are national.
Right.
You could order. There's like this famous deli in Washington D.C. where you could order a sandwich from their deli and have it shipped to your house.
It gets shipped to you. Yum.
I
imagine
wait
to get 3-day-old pork.
Some of it is probably good after being shipped,
yeah.
but it's crazy to think that you could order some like.
That is nuts.
Who in the hell is ordering
like deli kind
like?
Of thing
I don't think about food more than 20 minutes before it's time to eat it.
Yeah.
So it's like.
Well, Bobby
preparing that far out.
Bobby could get his gout food delivered, I guess.
I have a buddy right now who has gout.
Really?
35-year-old with gout.
That sucks.
Yeah, and he said that he has to go on a pescatarian diet. Not even a pescatarian diet because there's some fish you can't eat.
Yeah.
He's like on an all chicken diet now.
Okay. Well, I mean, whatever it takes, to get off of the gout, I guess.
No, I'll die with a cold cut in my hand.
I don't know, man. It's pretty painful. So he says, he goes, "My bath is already drawn," and he takes off, but he grabs the dish soap from the sink for his bathtub, which is the weirdest.
That's
thing.
grody. Yeah.
Then we hear, and this is weird because we've only had this a handful of times. Hank and Peggy are kind of laughing in bed, and it's totally dark in their bed.
Yeah.
He's like, "Okay, I'm taking off my boxers," and they're just laughing and stuff. And then she pops up at the end of the bed. The light gets turned on. Hank is there with no shirt. Very rarely do you see Hank without a shirt.
Yeah.
And Peggy is holding his boxers up over her chest, so she's
all the way
up
here. Yeah,
covered
her nipples.
He said, "What the Luanne?" She goes, "Oh my God!" She pops up at the end. She goes, "I thought you guys were sleeping, but you weren't sleeping." Hank's like, "Exit the master bedroom right now." These boxers, ask for boxers from her. And then next thing is we're in the kitchen. They're all in their bathrobes. Hank and Peggy are giving Luanne the what for here because she came in during special time.
Yeah.
He goes, "Luanne, we have rules in this house." Luanne says, "Why are you guys getting so upset? I didn't see anything." And this is my favorite quote of this entire episode. Peggy pipes up and says, "You saw your uncle's nipples."
Yeah.
That's the best. You saw your uncle's nipples.
Is that the catch line at the end?
I love it. No. It's a different one.
Oh, okay.
But the way he's got a piece of notebook paper that he hands to Luanne as he's talking to her. He goes, "The way I see it, you're in direct violation of 4 of our rules." She looks at the paper and she goes, "You had it notarized?" He goes,
"That's crazy."
He goes, 1, no water usage after 10 p.m., 9 p.m. curfew on school nights, entering the master bedroom without verbal permission and you're barefoot in the kitchen. Lady Bird eats off that floor. Luanne says, "God only has 10 rules, Uncle Hank, and his house is much bigger."
That's a good line.
It is a good one.
That's a good smart one. I like
she just
that.
slams that paper down and goes away. The next day, we're in the alley with all 4 of the guys. Hank pipes up first. He goes, "All right, Dale, for the last time, I can't turn in this rental application without your Social Security number." And he's there. He's got the application on a clipboard. He's just taking all the notes. Dale's like, "Fine, 55555." Hank says, "It's not even enough numbers." He goes, 5. That's still not enough. "Okay, I'm leaving your name off, but you're still responsible for 1/4 of the rent. I figure I can pull my extra workbench out of the public storage and keep it in the clubhouse. That'll save me a few bucks a month." He has an extra workbench in a storage building that he's paying for.
That's crazy.
It
doesn't seem very economical.
No, it doesn't. He goes, "And I've given it some thought, and I decided to start charging Luanne some rent for living in my den." And then we see Con and Min showing some yuppie-type people that house because they're trying to pick their neighbors.
Yeah, for sure.
Con's like, "See, a house right across from me." And then you hear Dale pipe up, "They want to use our clubhouse as their living quarters. Hank, we have to do something." Again, this is still a house. right? It's not.
Yeah,
it's not a clubhouse.
It's not a
just
clubhouse.
a house.
It's a house for sale that someone's going to buy. So figure it out, bud.
The guy in the preppy clothes, he goes, I don't know, Con. The house looks nice, but the neighbors look a little hillbilly to me. Hank overhears this, and he says, hillbilly, I got an idea. Follow my lead. Hey, Mr. They go over to him. Hey, Mr. Con, them some fancy blue jeans y'all's lady friend is wearing. Bill, of course, doesn't have any problem playing this part. He says, they must be city folks. I just whipped up a new batch of possum stew I'd be willing to share with you. Don't worry, I took off the feet.
That's funny.
The preppy lady, she goes, what did he say? Men trying to save the situation. She goes, oh, all great chefs do that now. Wolfgang Puck cut the feet off everything.
Trying to change it up. Yeah.
Right.
Trying to make
Dale, he says.
Wolfgang Puck in the trailer park.
Exactly. Dale says, got my own fine life, got my own fine city. They're doing kind of a little jig over there on the side now to prove that they're hillbillies. So they're singing, got my own life, got my own fiddle, sun's coming up, gribble, gribble, gribble.
Which is Thank God I'm a Country Boy.
Yes, Thank God I'm a
John
Country
Denver.
Boy. Right,
Yeah,
right.
the
And
parody.
then him and Bill start singing, life ain't nothing but a funny, funny riddle. Thank God I'm a country boy. Yeah, they're doing a little dance.
They're just day laborers.
Boomhauer's over there doing that. He's doing the clapping. And Con says, yeah, they're just day laborers. They're putting in my deck. They all go off, and Dale says, our plan worked. Spike, Rudy, Boomhauer, let's check out our new clubhouse. And they start walking off. And Boomhauer looks a little sad about this, and he goes, yo, man, you talking about everybody got a dang old nickname except me, man. I don't like dang old man, dog, man. He goes, all right, Boomhauer, what do you want to be called? Oh, B-Dog. B-Dog. He's already thought this through.
There you go. That's your tattoo, Mike. B-Dog.
B-Dog. That's what I need. Okay, so now we're in Pop's house for rent, and the guys are going through it, talking about how they're going to get their clubhouse ready to go. Hank says, so I figure we knock down that wall, and we build a new wall over there. That'd be fun. Bill says, hey, a refrigerator. They all look in the fridge, and there's one single Alamo can of beer. He says, look, Pop's last beer. Hank says, huh. And then he goes over there, and they raise the beer, and they say, to Pops. And then as they're toasting him, they look out the sliding glass door, and Hank says, that son of a bitch had a swimming pool. And then all of their faces are pressed against the glass. Bill says, I thought I heard splashing. He goes, how could you not know? You lived next door to him for 18 years.
Yeah.
Bill says, I thought he lived on a lake. What? Hank says, what lake?
It was
goes,
none of my
business.
That's my favorite exchange in the whole episode.
I thought he lived on a lake.
What lake? It was none of my business.
Yeah. All right, so then the realtor lady comes in, and she goes, so you're the ones who broke my lockbox. Dale says, was the open house canceled? She goes, I'm sorry, the house has already been rented to a lovely college student. Hank says, okay. College student? No college student's going to have a credit history like mine. And then in walks Luanne.
Boom.
She has rented this house.
Yep.
The realtor says, here are your keys, Miss Platter. Welcome home. Hank's very surprised. He goes, Luanne? And then Dale says, young lady, you better march right back into Hank's den. That's your home, and that will always be your home. Right, Hank? Hank thinks about it for about a half second, and he goes, Luanne, welcome to your new home. He's just so ready to get her out of his house.
He's ready. He don't even care.
Nope. All right, and that's our first commercial break. We'll take that one, and we'll be right back.
Well, let me tell you, Rusty, eating healthy used to be a struggle for me, but that was before I discovered the BlendJet 2 portable blender.
The BlendJet 2.
Now when fast food temptation strikes, I just blend up a delicious and nutritious protein shaker smoothie. You know, they gave us a whole bunch of those little packages that came with the blender.
Yeah.
And there's some really good flavors in there. I mean, there's some like that matcha thing.
The green matcha?
Yeah, those are pretty damn good. BlendJet 2 is portable, so you can blend up smoothies at work, a protein shake at the gym, or even a margarita on the beach. It's small enough to fit in a cup holder, but powerful enough to blast through ingredients like ice and frozen fruit with ease. Maybe a human thumb. Don't put your thumb in it. BlendJet 2 is whisper quiet, so you can make your morning smoothie without waking up the whole house. Lasts for 15 plus blends and recharges quickly via USB-C, which has saved us all. There's nothing worse than turning that USB thing over and over and over and over, and then finally finding how it plugs in, you know?
Oh, yeah, I don't like that either.
USB-C
saved us all.
Best of all, BlendJet 2 cleans itself. Just blend water with a drop of soap, and you're good to go. There's 30 plus colors and patterns to choose from. There's a BlendJet 2 to complement just about any style. We have a pink one,
Lavender.
pink one.
I think ours is lavender. Yeah.
Mine is the Toy Story Aliens.
Oh,
And
yeah.
It's like the Pizza Planet one.
Ooh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got some really cool colors, but I really like the patterns. I know one of the people here got one that looks like Woody the Sheriff.
Is there a code with them?
There is a code. What are you waiting for? Go to blendjet.com and grab yours today. Glab it today.
Glibbity glob.
And when you do glab it, make sure you use the promo code
BWAAA12.
That's to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. No other portable blender on the market comes close to the quality, power, and innovation of the BlendJet 2. They guarantee you'll love it or your money back. Blend anytime, anywhere with the BlendJet 2 portable blender. Go to blendjet.com and use the code
BWAAA12
to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. Shop today and get the best deal ever.
BlendJet 2, formerly known as BlendJet.
Hey, everyone. It's me, your puzzle-loving pal. Did you know I was a puzzle-loving pal?
I didn't know you were a puzzle-loving pal.
I got to tell you about my latest obsession. It's Wongo puzzles. These things are the real deal. They are high-quality, handcrafted, and perfect for anyone who loves a good challenge but doesn't want to dedicate their entire kitchen table to puzzles for a week. Trust me, I have been there. I will tell you this. My parents, they're very old and decrepit, and they make they do puzzles all the damn time.
Yeah.
Like there's always a table that has like an unfinished puzzle. Yeah, it's either that or I don't know.
Die.
feel your bones. So these puzzles, these Wongo puzzles, they are 100% wooden. They'll last forever. Each piece is hand drawn. Just think about that for a second. Each piece is hand drawn, so no two pieces are the same, and you'll discover some fun whimsy pieces as you work through it.
Whimsy.
They come in a custom wooden box, which is perfect for storage and gifting. Before we started doing this, I didn't realize how many people I know already have these Wongo puzzles. I mean, they're apparently pretty.
You can't go wherever Juan go.
With stunning designs and unique shapes, Wongo puzzles are a cut above the rest. I loved doing the snow globe puzzle myself. It was great to pull out a puzzle and be done in a night and not have it on the table for a week. So what are you waiting for? Let's go to Wongo Puzzles, WONGO puzzles.com, and pick a puzzle today. And be sure to use the promo code
BWAAA
for 10% off your order. It's the most fun you'll have with a puzzle, guaranteed, or your money back. Go to WONGO puzzles.com and use your code
BWAAA
to get 10% off your order and get puzzling right now. All right, and we are back. We are now at the Hill House. It's night. It's in the kitchen, and they're packing up, or Luanne's packing. For some reason, she's packing in the kitchen. And she's wrapping a stuffed animal in newspaper so that it doesn't break, I guess, on the big move. Two houses over.
Yeah. That's funny.
Hank says,
I like that. That's a good one.
It is, and it's never. They never say anything about it.
Never say nothing about it. You never see her unwrap it either.
No. Hank says, I won't be stingy with the tape, Luanne. You tape away. She goes, it's not that I want to move. It's just that I hate living here. There's just too many rules.
I don't want to go anywhere, but I hate it here.
Right, I hate it. Hank says, yep, way too many rules. Goodbye. He's always just pushing her right out the door, man.
Always, and then regrets it later.
Luanne, yeah, exactly. Luanne, she goes, and if I have to pay rent, I'm not going to sleep in a den and share a bathtub with a 12-year-old boy, okay? And then this is the first time Peggy's hearing about this. She goes, rent? Excuse me, Hank, did you pass a new law while this hill was not in session?
Well, how she said, this hill was not in session.
That's a really great turn of phrase.
I like that.
Hank says, just tied up a rental loophole. The important thing is she's happy. Luanne says, and I'm not paying for it all alone. See, this friend of mine who got kicked out of her apartment said she had 3 roommates who also got kicked out of the apartment, and she said I could have them. I don't know. I just think I should move out before we end up hating each other. So let's get this straight. Mm-hmm. She has a friend. That friend was living with 3 other roommates.
And they all get kicked out.
They all get kicked out, and the friend says, you can have my 3 roommates.
Yeah, they're yours.
Solid logic right there.
Terrible.
Solid logic. Peggy says, oh, Luanne, we could never hate. And Hank says, she's making a good point, Peggy. I mean, jeez. Hank is always just so rough with this kind of stuff.
He is very rough.
I don't know if he means to be, but boy, he's
trying to get her out of there.
Oh, he's ready for her to go. He wants that den.
I don't blame him. That's the worst. That's the worst thing in the world, man. When you lose your childhood bedroom and you try to recapture it for the rest of your life, and then somebody stops you from doing it the whole way.
Just any room like that, I mean, just anyway. Having people live at your house is rough.
You know, I mean, it always goes on a little too long. It takes a little more than you thought. So now we transition. All the guys are in the alley watching Luanne and Peg move. And Dale says, "We lost everything so fast, and Hank did nothing to stop it, like the Swiss." Bill said, "How's your precious den?" Dale says, "Visual confirmation, roommate number 1, female." We see a girl walk up. She's got short hair, and she's carrying a picture of a Marine under her arm. Bill says, "She's dating a jarhead, huh? Well, my first choice was the Marines, but I couldn't do enough sit-ups to be a Marine Corps barber." What? You can't do
enough sit-ups to be a Marine Corps barber.
He goes, "Semper Fi." Then we see a guy in running gear, and what I'm talking about is like that tight spandex that you see on a guy on a bicycle.
Yeah, like the bike suits.
And he's got those wraparound sunglasses on.
Yeah.
And he's doing what I think is some Tai Chi out in front of the house.
I don't know what he's doing.
Hank looks at him and
Probably
goes,
drugs.
Hank looks at him and goes, "Oh, great, we got a disco dancer." And then Dale says, "Anyone can move slow," when he gets out there and he starts doing his Tai Chi. And then we hear a horn honk and a car pulls right up in front of him. It's a green like VW Bug. It's got a lady in it. She goes, "Hey guys, drinking beer in my parking spot." He goes, Hank says, "No, I don't think so. This is where we assemble. Assemble. Always has been." She says, "Well, always has been a penal code, Texas Penal Code 4902, which prohibits public drunkenness." Hank says, "What are you talking about? Nobody's drunk here." And of course, Bill.
"I don't know, Hank. I'm pretty buzzed."
I'm pretty buzzed. The lady says, "My lease says this is my space." She just goes ahead and parks there. They all have to jump out of the way. Hank's like, "Hey." She goes, "Yeah, thought so." And then Dale says, "Gentlemen, I give you roommate number 3. I kind of like her." Of course he does. Of course he does. Okay. So Bobby and Peggy.
Yeah,
That's
Poppy Pill. Poppy Pill.
That's when you put two of them together. Poppy. They're in the living room watching Monsignor, whatever his name is. Yeah. Because the only thing you hear from the TV is "Vaya con Dios." Yeah. And then we see Hank. He's going into the den there. He's got a chair with him. He turns it around. He sits on it backwards. I'm not sure why people do that to think.
Do that either.
You hear kind of the music playing in the distance, and he goes, "Huh?" He sits back in the chair in the empty room, and this is the room that was Luanne's, and then he sees an extension cord going
all
out
the way to
window.
his house.
Yeah,
he's gonna have a high-ass electric bill.
He looks at it. He looks at it, and he unplugs it, and you see the lights go off in Luanne's house, and the guy going, "Little help." And then he plugs it back in, and he goes, "Thank you." And then he unplugs it again. Everything goes out again. He goes, "Now you got a lawsuit." This is the voices in that house. And Hank just goes, "The audacity." So he goes straight over to Luanne's. He's at her door. He knocks on the door, and the guy comes to the door, and he goes, Hank says, "I have unplugged your house from my house." He's shining this bright light in the guy's face.
Yeah.
And the guy says, "It's not very neighborly of you. When it's 105 degrees and you want to use my pool and drink my soy shakes, I'm going to remember this." Hank says, "Yeah, well, there goes your welcome wagon tool set, too. You happy?" So I guess Hank gives everybody a welcome wagon tool set.
I guess
whenever they come through.
Yeah, I guess
That's
so.
very nice of him. This is the next day. We're at Luanne's house now. And she says she comes into the living room there, and her other 3 roommates are sitting there. One of the guys is working on a bike wheel.
Yep.
There's another girl reading a magazine, and the girl in the back is on the phone. The girl who was carrying the Marine picture, she's on a phone. Mm-hmm. Luanne says, "So, who'd like to meet my other roommates?" "The Manger Babies," and she pulls them out.
Yeah.
She says, "This is Reginald Featherbottom III. Oh, and I know what you're thinking. I perform a Christian puppet show." What were they thinking, Luanne?
I don't know.
What were they thinking?
I don't know what they were thinking. They're probably thinking there's something wrong with the situation.
The girl from the VW says, "Okay, we need to go to the grocery store." Luanne says, "I already went to the store, and Sir Reginald noticed how expensive food is these days." The bike guy says, "There's food?" And then all of them just run into the kitchen like they're just going to start eating.
Yep.
She looks at one of the Manger Babies and she has Sir Reginald, and she goes, "They're not going to leave you a speck. What?
What?
Yeah. She knows already.
Yeah, she does.
Now we're in Hank's empty room. Hank is in there by himself. He's putting up a new picture on the wall, and of course it's that same Tom Landry picture that he's got in the garage.
The stoic pose Tom Landry. Yeah.
He goes, "One in the garage, one in the kitchen."
One in the den.
And then through the one in the den. Sorry, he through the window. All three of the guys are just kind of looking in there, and Dale says, "What you doing?" Hank says, "Oh, nothing. Just working on my den." And then they all start climbing through the window. Everybody makes it except for Bill. Bill, of course, comes through and falls flat on his face, gets right up and goes, "I always wanted a clubhouse with a secret knock. How about da 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 da?" He knocks like that. Dale says, "No, that's a secret knock at the gun club. I don't want to get confused."
Shaving a haircut, 2 bits.
He goes, "How about this?" He just keeps knocking.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know what that is. Hank says, part of the reason I agreed to this clubhouse idea was that one of the bedrooms over there was going to be my private den. And well, now that I've got my den, and Dale says, "Our clubhouse." Hank says, "My den." And then Dale starts his knocking again. He goes, "Yep, that's the official knock until I can get us a retina scanner."
A retinal scanner, yeah.
I don't know who's making that knock.
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay, so now we're back at Luanne's house. She's going through what looks to be bills that she's filled out, like she's splitting up all the utilities amongst all the people that live there. The one on top says Griffin owes gas $20, electric $35.50, water $55, and then phone $77. That seems like a lot towards the end there.
Yeah.
But she goes in there and she says, "Hey guys, I figured out all the bills. I used additions and subtractions."
And this is her trying to be responsible.
Yes,
yeah, which is really cool of Luanne.
I just love the fact she says, "I used additions and subtractions."
That's that trailer park math.
She's passing out the bills to all her roommates. And Griffin, the bike guy, he goes, "Oh, wow, I'm going to have to catch up with you later. See, I have a bike race coming up, and there's going to be this chick there that I dig, so I need a new shirt that really sports my abs." I mean, check it out. He lifts his shirt up just to show his abs.
Yeah.
And then the girl that came in from the VW, she says, "Yeah, I can't pay this right now either. I'm going to go to Vegas this weekend." She's wearing a Wonka shirt from like the Wonka candy bars, which I thought was kind of cool. Luanne says, "Okay, Kate." And she looks at Kate, who is the Marine girl. She's on the phone. She says, "The phone bill is pretty much 100% yours." Kate pauses for like half second, then goes back to her conversation and says, "So anyway, my little sister, she borrowed my Kangol hat, and yes, I'm mad." So Luanne comes over there. She turns off the TV, and she says, "Listen, when I signed up for phone service, I signed a document that said I would pay on time. I swore it on my mother's maiden name." And then Griffin says, "You're kind of being a house Nazi." And the girl, the bug girl, she goes, she starts to light up, the bug girl, she starts to light up a cigarette, and Luanne says, "Hello, I thought we agreed no smoking in the house." And then the girl that lit up,
super dramatic with it. Yeah,
my God. The girl
Nazis had anti-smoking laws.
Yeah, the girl
Hitler.
who lit up, she goes, "You know who else had anti-smoking laws? Who was it? Oh yeah, Hitler." And then Griffin's like, "Nazi."
Yeah.
And then Luanne just stares for a little bit. I mean, she knows she's in bad shape at this point.
Oh, yeah, very bad shape.
None of these people are going to do what they're supposed to do.
Not at all. She's going to get stuck with all the bills.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. Okay, so now we're at the Hill House. We're at the dinner table, and Luanne is back there, and she's kind of knocking on the glass door. Bobby lets her in and goes, "Luanne, what's up, girlfriend? I hadn't seen you in the longest time." She goes, "Oh, okay, you guys are finished with dinner already." Peggy says, "Why, are you hungry, Luanne, or are you eating?" She goes, "Do you need money? Get my purse." And Luanne says, No, Aunt Peggy, no. I'm on my own now, and I don't need any help from anyone. Oh, but I am doing a book report on what people eat for dinner, so what'd you eat? Peggy goes over there and says, "Let me fix you a
she
to-go
got no
plate."
food. You know, about talking about the bill thing with roommates, I was always scared to have the bill in my name, not because I was afraid of me being able to pay it. I was always afraid that somebody else wouldn't be able to pay it, and I would get stuck with it.
Oh, they'll stick you with it
So
every
I
time.
never let the bill be in my name. I always paid my share,
Sure.
But then somebody would come to me, and they'd be like, "Well, I don't have my part of the bill," and I would be like, "Well, I don't have your part of the bill either, so you give me my part back, and we'll just be without the lights because I'm not paying
That's
your
exactly
share."
right.
Yeah, because I don't mind sitting in the dark. It don't bother me none.
So Peggy says, "Let me fix you a to-go plate." She does just that. She wraps it up, puts it in a sack, and hands it to Luanne. Hank comes in the room and he goes, "Hey, Luanne, what you got there?" She goes, "Oh, nothing. This isn't mine." And then she just leaves. Last thing she wants to do is tell Hank she's taking anything from his house. Hank says, "It's nice to see Luanne once in a while. Knowing she'll be leaving kind of makes it like a fun game." Peggy goes, "There's nothing funny about starvation, except for comic relief, of course."
Yeah.
Do you remember comic relief? So Comic Relief was a like a telethon almost that comedians put on to raise money for homelessness. It was Robin Williams, Whoopi Goldberg, and
I was in the late 90s,
the guy from City Slickers. You know what I'm talking about?
Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal. Yeah, it was those three, and then they would have on all these comedians and stuff. I think it was on HBO, but it was just a big fundraiser for homelessness. Yeah. Okay, later, we're at Luanne's door. Hank, Peggy, and Bobby, they knock on the door. Peggy says, now, Luanne is very proud and may not accept our charity, but she is also very hungry, so who knows? The shirtless Griffin comes to the door, and he says, Luanne's usually home from work by now, and then they all go in. He sits down and starts shaving his legs. Hank says, whoa, because he sits down in a blow-up chair, like instead of an actual chair.
It's
there's
just
a big blow-up chair. Yeah,
it looks like a batch. It looks like a bunch of broke college kids.
Well, it looks like the guy from the pot plate. You know, the one that was it was Debbie's roommate.
Oh yeah.
Or Debbie? Donna? And Bobby, of course, is very interested in this whole leg shaving thing. And he goes, guys can shave their legs too? That's very interesting. And I mean, this is the fastest I've ever seen Hank and Peggy. He goes, Peggy. He goes, Bobby. And Bobby says, sorry, Dad. So we get Peggy, Bobby, sorry, Dad. I mean, it's just boom, 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 just like
fast.
that, boy.
Yeah.
He didn't want him to get any ideas about shaving his legs. The bug girl comes in smoking. She says to Griffin, heads up, the Führer's home from work. I mean, Jesus, that's so...
That's terrible.
Yeah. Luanne comes through the door. She steps on a bag of trash, and she goes, whose turn is it to take the trash out? Don't make me get out the chore wheel. Oh, Uncle Hank, Aunt Peggy, you're here. Peggy says, yeah, we brought you a casserole for dinner. She goes, oh, no, I won't hear of it. I'm on my own now, and I can make you dinner. I'm on it. She gets into the kitchen. She's just real frantic. She's all over the place.
Yeah,
oh,
she's
God,
upset.
crap, dinner. Where are the crackers? Where's my macaroni and cheese? Where are my... And she is pissed. She comes in there and goes, where are my steakums?
Man.
That's it. Who ate all my food? Come forward. Griffin said...
that's a diet.
It is.
Crackers, macaroni and cheese, and steakums.
Steakums. Yeah.
Eating like a
Steakums
toddler.
are gross. Griffin finally pops up and he goes, I needed a carbo load. She goes, Griffin, we said no shaving in the living room unless it was an emergency. Because he starts to...
seek how.
Yeah, he goes, seek how. She goes, when I think of how many stupid onion loaves I had to sell so you people could talk on the phone and eat my cookies, it makes me so... And then Peggy, whispering, says, Hank, maybe we should intervene. You go talk to the German one. Because he goose steps out of the room like he's like, treating her like Hitler. So, of course, Peggy thinks he's German. She goes, you talk to the German one.
You go talk to the German one. Yeah.
And then Luanne says, we have rules in this house. We all agreed to them, people. I'm counting at least 12 violations. And then she looks over at Hank and she goes, oh, my God, I have become you. Oh, I hate myself. And that is the second commercial break. We'll take that. Luanne is pissed because she thinks she's Hank now, and we will be right back.
Hey, Rusty, did you know that you could be putting oil and chemicals in your coffee?
No, I didn't know that.
I mean, I love coffee creamer, but I don't think I've ever turned a bottle around to actually see what's inside. Recently I did, and I found out many of my favorite creamers, like especially the one my wife used to use, they contain ingredients I would never intentionally add to my coffee cup, like canola oil, dipotassium phosphate, whatever that is.
Terrible.
Artificial flavors. I can't take artificial flavors a lot of the time.
Yeah, I'm good on any flavoring.
They taste gross.
I don't like flavors in my coffee. I like the earth and flavor of coffee.
I mean, I love coffee. Don't get me wrong. I do love it. I just I don't like all that crap in my coffee, right?
Yeah, no, who does that?
So let me tell you about Laird Superfoods then. They have better ingredients, amazing taste, and functional benefits. Laird Superfood creamers are crafted from the highest quality, all-natural, real food ingredients. All Laird products are sustainably sourced and thoroughly tested to ensure that you're incorporating the cleanest, finest fuel into your routine. Now, they're all natural. They've got whole food ingredients. They contain naturally occurring MCTs from coconut oil, and everybody tells you coconut oil is good for you. Mm-hmm. There's no artificial flavors, no colors, no additives, no sugar from highly refined corn syrup. So that's a big deal right there. If you take one thing you do every day and make it better, Laird developed his creamer himself to stay powered for a day on the waves. He was a big wave surfer, Laird Hamilton was, and he needed a morning fuel that could allow him to spend the entire day chasing the ultimate wave. So he made this creamer, and it's crazy, crazy good. Laird sources high-quality plant-based ingredients globally and puts an emphasis on U.S. sources whenever possible. They aim to source responsibly and sustainably and believe that the foods you consume should be as good for the earth as they are for you. They have honest and transparent products and labels. If you try it, you won't go back. They have functional superfood creamers, instant lattes, and prebiotic greens. They have a variety of snacks and supplements full of wholesome plant-based ingredients to keep you charged for wherever life takes you. So to get a deal on Laird Superfoods, I need you to go to zen.ai BWAAA King of the Hill. So that's zen.ai/BWAAA King of the Hill. And your offer code there is BWAAA. So Laird Superfoods makes a better creamer that keeps you powered all day, and it's better for you, the earth, and your coffee. What do you say, Rusty? You want to go get some coffee?
Coffee.
Hey, Rusty?
Yeah.
Did you know that dehydration is the leading cause of daytime fatigue?
Oh, no.
I don't know about you, but like 2:30, 3 o'clock, I just hit a wall almost every day. I was shocked to learn that even mild dehydration can cause headaches, muscle weakness, brain fog. But luckily, there's a cure.
Oh, there is?
Actually, I should have said there's a solution. It's called Cure. Cure Hydration. The Cure Hydration is an oral rehydration solution, or ORS, that contains the perfect balance of electrolytes. We know how important that is because plants crave it.
Super important.
And glucose to help your body absorb water and rehydrate quickly. The formula is made with all natural ingredients like coconut water, powder, and pink Himalayan salt. Whoopee. And it is free from artificial flavors, sweeteners, and preservatives. Cure Hydration is vegan, gluten-free, and non-GMO. That makes it a great option for anyone with dietary restrictions and preferences. The packets that they give you, they're convenient. They're easy to use. You just mix them with water and drink. They're perfect for on-the-go, travel, or anytime you need quick hydration. Hydration is more than just drinking water, Rusty. It is, that's what Lauren Picasso, a lifelong endurance athlete, discovered as she struggled to stay hydrated no matter how much water she drank. I've known people like that. My wife drinks so much water, it's crazy. Lauren found Cure, a science-backed electrolyte drink mix to make hydration easy for everyone. Cure believes that hydration should be simple and effective, but also clean and natural. That's why they only use the highest ingredients and quality plant-based stuff to avoid any artificial or harmful additives. They're committed to transparency and honesty. All of their ingredients are clearly listed on their website and packaging, and they're always happy to answer any questions or concerns. So are you ready to combat dehydration?
Absolutely.
You can try Cure today and feel the difference for yourself. Use your code
BWAAA. Sorry, I blanked.
You're good. For 20% off your order. Try Cure today and feel the difference for yourself. Use our special code
BWAAA
for 20% off your order. Your coupon will be activated at checkout. Try Cure Hydration. Stop drying out. All right, and we are back from the second commercial break. We're back at the Hill House.
Yep.
And Hank,
We're there.
Yeah, Hank is there. He's like, I'm worried about Luanne. She hates herself because she's become Bobby. He doesn't get it.
No, he don't.
He goes, I mean, what's that all about? And Peggy says, Hank, she was pointing at you.
Yeah, he wasn't pointing at Bobby.
Right. She's become you, and that's why she hates herself. And Hank says, oh, well, and she's
crazy.
just crazy.
Yeah.
She goes, Hank, please talk to her. I can hear her crying in her room. He says, in her room, my den. For all we know, she could be laughing. All right. He goes in there.
For all we know, she could be laughing.
He goes in there.
Oh, he's a jackass.
And for some reason, the guys are there sitting on a couch with her, and Boomhauer's over there playing with a tarantula. And she's just crying, and Dale says, it is very sad to see people take advantage of the kindness of others. Bill says, yes, it is. Hank comes in and goes, all right, Bill, Dale, Boomhauer, get out. And then it's just they just look at him, and he goes, Spike B-Dog.
Yeah, Spike B-Dog.
Then they finally get up and leave.
Luanne's still crying on the couch. Hank says, back in your house when you said I'd become you, she says, yeah. He goes, well, you said it like I'd become you when, well, you probably could have said it more like, hey, I've become you. She goes, what? He says, you see, Luanne, a lot of good stuff happened in the world when people were like me. Sure, they'll never write a Hollywood musical about a fellow who keeps his yard free of debris and pays his bills on time, and the MTV won't put a video on about a man who requires shoes in the kitchen. But it's because of people like us. She stops and goes, but I'm not like you. It's just too much for me, and all the bills, and they mooch my food, and they're always on the phone, and I just can't take it anymore. I can't stand one more day. They're wearing my socks, Uncle Hank. And she's like, she goes, oh, God, I need a paper bag. Hank sits down and he goes, no, now take it easy. You didn't see me getting all huffy every time you made me mad. She goes, I made you mad? He said, sure, and you were 3 times the pain in the butt these kids are. She goes, oh, good, then you'll be able to handle them for me. He says, maybe I could, but I don't want to. I want to give you a fish, Luanne. I want to teach you how to fish. That way you'll eat forever. So, again, the saying is teach a man to fish and he'll eat forever or whatever.
Yeah.
In comes Dale. I don't understand this exchange, but in comes Dale with a mustache and a jumpsuit on, and he says, hello, I'm with the electric company. Don't mind me. I'll only be a minute. He sits down on the couch and goes, I'm on break. Please continue with your private conversation. Do not worry, I am deaf and cannot hear what you are saying.
Actually, Artie says that Dale's number 2 of 1,000 faces is the deaf electrician who only speaks to say I couldn't help but overhear.
That's right.
And he says that's a reference to Dick Nixon.
Oh, okay. So like the plumber that comes in. Gotcha. Hank says,
I'm just a plumber. I can't hear anything you're saying. That's the whole premise. Yeah,
I am deaf and cannot hear what you're saying.
Bit, yeah.
Yeah. Hank pops up. He goes, Luanne, you and I both want a little place of our own. I thought my den would be my oasis, but now the only place I can get away from various annoyances in my life is my lawn. And he looks out the window longingly and he goes, when I'm out there mowing, edging, watering, even fertilizing, nothing else matters. Yep, that's what you got to do, Luanne. Got to find yourself a project. Find your own lawn. And he leaves the den. Luanne's like, that's it? And then, of course, Dale, the deaf plumber, comes in and says, I couldn't help but overhear your uncle's bad advice. Well, you're deaf. She goes, what? And then he rips the mustache off and he goes, ha-ha, it is I, Dale Gribble, master of 1,000 faces.
And you just met face number 2,
the deaf electrician. He goes, the only thing your roommate, i.e. enemies, will understand is fear, i.e. psychological warfare, i.e. dirty tricks. And he says it worked for Dick Nixon. She goes, well, but he goes, for example, get a hold of some goat's blood.
Isn't that what they called him, Tricky Dick?
Tricky Dick. He goes, get a hold of some goat's blood, taint that blood. Then when your roommates need blood, give them the tainted goat's blood. It's a perfect plan. What
God,
the hell?
Hey, he's trying to kill somebody.
Luanne says, I don't want to hurt anybody. I just want them to do the dishes. He goes, oh, well, in that case, stack the dishes in the shower. That's the way Nancy gets me to do them.
Well, that's
actually sound advice that
is
he
sound
ended
advice.
up giving.
That's not bad. That's not bad advice.
All right, now we're back at Luanne's.
Vet your roommates. Don't live with shitheads.
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
Try not to anyway.
We come in, and Luanne looks in the pool, and Griffin is in there, and he goes, Luanne, do you mind? She goes, ugh, what are you doing? He goes, well, somebody left a bunch of dishes in the shower. Now, he is in the swimming pool washing his hair.
Yeah.
Like lots of suds and all this stuff. And he says, somebody left a bunch of dishes in the shower. And he goes, that's kind of rude. And he gets out of the pool and leaves. She says, good Lord, I hate these people. I know, Jesus, I know. You told me never to say hate. I'm sorry, Lord, but I really, really do. And she's using the skimmer to get all the suds out.
Yeah.
And then it dawns on her. She has a thought. And that doesn't happen very often with Luanne. So she has a big thought. Now, we're back in Hank's den, and, this is where Boomhauer's letting the spider crawl on his arm and stuff. Hank's backwards in a chair. Dale and Bill are on the couch. Dale says, truth or dare? Bill says, dare. Hank just like, ugh. And he starts going outside. He sees the green bug. He just needs some air from these stupid guys.
Yeah.
And then he sees Luanne in a bathing suit over there skimming the pool. He walks over, and she goes, hey, Uncle Hank. Guess what? Right this second, the pH balance in this pool is absolutely perfect. Hank says, so you found yourself a project. He said,
yeah, so she's taking care of the pool like he would take care of his lawn.
That's right.
Yeah.
He says, do you get the same high I get from my lawn care? She goes, I think I do. And then the lights go off in the house. The music stops. You hear the guy go, excuse me. Hank looks at it and he goes, "You didn't pay your bills, did you?" "Oh, well, Luanne, at least you tried." And then here's smart Luanne.
Yeah, this is a really I've never heard of anybody doing this. This is next level.
It's very smart. She goes, "Oh, I paid my bills. Then I closed all the accounts. If my roommates want gas, water, electricity, or a phone, they can just open up their own account. Simple as that." Hank looks at her and he just smiles because he knows that she grew up just a little bit right
she's
then
figuring
and there.
something out.
Yeah,
she's figuring it out.
Hank says, if you're ever up late studying for a test and you want a little electricity, you still got that extension cord. They both go over and sit down, and they're popping open an Alamo.
Yeah.
And she says, "No thanks, Uncle Hank. You taught me how to fish." He goes, "Yep."
Yep.
She says, "Yep."
Yep.
And that is it, man. And what I love about that is that giant pullout that we get again from her little place, and it shows the whole neighborhood, and all that stuff. Yeah, it's
Wes
really
Archer's direction again. Awesome.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Now the credits come up, and we have Cotton and Topsy going over to Pop's house. They don't know that Pops is dead.
Yeah, they don't at all.
And so Cotton's at the door, and he goes, "This place looks terrible. You ain't Pops." Whenever Griffin opens the door, he goes, "Oh, yeah, that old guy? Yeah, he died." He goes, "Dead? Then I'm arresting you for suspicion of murder. Grab him, Topsy." They both just like push their way in. and you hear Topsy go, "Boy, you just come a little closer." The guy says, "Hey, you get your hands off me, you Nazi." And that sets Cotton off. He's like, "Who you calling a Nazi?" "All right, Topsy, let's roll." And they both just leave. I'm assuming they knocked the shit out of this guy or something. Because then they just leave and the whole place is dark. And we get our final credits, and then after the credits we hear Dale say, "Truth or dare?" and Bill says, "Dare."
I got a little bit about Topsy real fast.
Yep.
So this is the first time that Topsy, who's voiced by Stephen Root, is shown to be
Stephen Root does Topsy also, huh?
Yeah, he does. So it's the first time that he's shown to be one of Cotton's secondhand henchman kind of things. So Topsy was a sergeant in the platoon that Cotton was a colonel of in World War II.
Yeah.
And he used to babysit Hank. If you remember, Season 3, Episode 25. He has no teeth. His biggest weapon is to inflate his toothless mouth. And then he eventually dies in a future episode. Season 9, Episode 3, Death Buys a Timeshare. He leaves $10,000 to Cotton, and Cotton goes and buys a timeshare in Mexico. Oh, yeah. So he appears in Old as the Hills Season 3. He appears in Season 4, 2 episodes in Season 5. Season 6. He's mentioned in Season 8, mentioned in Season 9, and then they mention him again in Season 13.
Anytime there's even a
so he's
hint,
mentioned a few times.
Yeah, anytime there's even a hint of the VFW, Topsy's there.
I think, there's a lot of offshoot episodes that I think about that would be great. I think those four guys sitting at a bar top would be hilarious.
I think if you did them maybe while they were in the Army, if you did like a little bit of a prequel, that would be cool.
Like combine them so they're at the bar telling stories, and they do like the flashbacks to when they were young. I think that would be great.
I think that would be cool.
You Should Have Seen It in Color by Jamie Johnson would be the theme song.
Yeah,
you should have seen it in color. Yeah, that'd be great.
Good.
There you go.
All right, you want to tell everybody where they can find us?
You can find us at bwaakoth.com. You can go to our YouTube channel as well, youtube.com/bwaakoth to see this episode. If you're listening to it in audio, you can go watch the video.
Yeah.
You can also check our Patreon at patreon.com, bwaakoth. And we now have a Blue Sky Social.
That's right. We are
go check us out
we're just about everywhere we can be. And again, the Patreon right this moment. Places. Yeah, the Patreon right this moment is just support. There's just a little $3 tier. We ask that you help us out and make this show. As you can tell, things cost money. And so if we can keep this going and you guys can help, that would really appreciate it. But we thank you for being here, and we'll be back on Friday with a That Ain't Right.
Wimatanye.
Wimatanye, indeed.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.